Thank you, and we're back with Mr. Larry Lynch, President of National Registry of Food Safety Professionals. Thank you for being with us, Larry.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
This topic is a very important topic. We have here about salmonella in the news very often lately, about the tomatoes and all the spread of this illness. Let's talk about that a little bit and how we can avoid this condition to get into our home. So let's start from the beginning. What is the salmonella?
Well, salmonella is a poison. It's a disease actually caused by improper handling of food, typically on the manufacturing side at the farm. More often than not, farmers don't properly handle food as they're picking. Perhaps their hands have waste product on them. Some of it is grown with waste. But most importers take the time. They have a program called HACCP. It's Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, HACCP. And part of the HACCP process is to catch those kinds of diseased fruits and vegetables before they ever reach your table. So there's an element of trust that has to take place between the consumer and the manufacturer in order to make sure that they're safe. And of course, what they need to do is practice smart buying when they do it. A lot of people, and part of this whole salmonella scare, it started with tomatoes. And as the CDC dug a little bit deeper, they thought, well, maybe it's not tomatoes. Perhaps it's jalapenos. And they started to dig deeper, and they said, well, it looks like it may be coming from a non-commercial salsa. So perhaps it could have come from someone who was buying their fruits and vegetables, their jalapenos, perhaps tomatoes, from a non-inspected source. So one of the first things people can do at home is make sure you know the source of your fruits and vegetables.
But I have a question, Larry. Sorry about the interruption, but under this situation, fast food stopped selling tomatoes. So once the tomato have salmonella or this kind of poison, can be clean after all, or there's something that can be done in fast food so they don't have to stop selling tomatoes?
It's a safety concern, and it's the reason they stop. There are certain things that you can do to clean the exterior, but what you don't know is if the salmonella has permeated the fruit of the vegetable, if it's inside the vegetable, and I think that's where they don't want to take the risk. And so the safer thing they felt to do was to stop using the tomatoes, to stop selling them, until the CDC or the US FDA, the FDA or the USDA could come back and definitively say, here's the source, here's the cause. But it was very elusive this time. The government had great difficulty in trying to track down, was it Florida, was it Mexico, was it tomatoes, was it jalapenos, where did it start, where did it come from? Because there's such a long incubation period for so many of these diseases, it's often hard to trace back to where it started. In order for the CDC to consider even naming something at risk, it has to take 2 or more occurrences of the same disease from the same source. And so, again, with a long incubation period, if it takes too long before they discover it, people don't remember where they ate, how they ate. They may eat something with such great frequency that they can't go back and say, this is the definitive source, or it's so sporadic. And it
was very spreading all around the United States.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow. We can't do anything with the fast food selling of tomato or anything, but we can do things at home. So we can maybe avoid contamination or cross-contamination in the event that we have bought some tomato contaminated or some meat contaminated. And those things are the ones that I would like to get over now. It's like what we can do at home to avoid my kid, my little boy, my little girl to be sick.
There's some real basic things that people should practice at home. And the first and probably the easiest is wash your hands. It's amazing.
It's so easy like that, Larry. It's like so easy like washing your hands.
It is, and do it with frequency when you're preparing food. So before you ever start, hot soapy water, a good scrub, 20 seconds under the sink with hot water, and start preparing. But then as you prepare foods, make sure that if you, for example, you're cutting chicken, right, and now you're going to go do and prepare some vegetables, wash your hands. Raw meats have a variety of bacteria on them. And once you begin, it may be on the surface that you're preparing on, it could be on your hands. Wash your hands first and foremost. Every time you make that change to something else.
Can I use maybe the same knife that I use for the chicken to the tomato?
Absolutely.
But we're going to get deep into that thing after this message.